Okay, this is an interesting one. So previously this guy was clearly blown out hard, and this time it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like it leaked, but then this side blew out. But yeah, look at how much pressure. Big time dummy moment here. I think I am the cause of this. Initially, that other side was my fault for not tightening it. Absolutely. And then here, I didn't even notice. I made a joke about it. I'm like, oh, look how bulged or embossed or proud the gasket is right here. Bro, that's a water passage right out of the water pump, like straight out of the water pump. And all it has is the pinhole at the bottom. So I would say that the water pump was pushing it so hard to emboss the head gasket that much. It must have just been going straight to the cylinder, and then the cylinder's blowing it out because it can't compress water, and it's blowing it into the jacket at 1,000,000 psi, and thus creating a catalyst. Yeah, so I think it was my fault because the other cylinder was clean. Number 246, number 6 previously was the one that was the ugly blowout. And then this one, cylinder number 1, right here in the front of the engine, where that head gasket's installed wrong, is where it is pushed and where I was getting coolant pressure. So if I was paying attention that day, might have never had an issue ever again. So it looks like the block might be okay, but I've already moved on to the big boy. So it's nice to know that this is probably okay. It just needs a good looking, and then keep it for something fun later. But I think it's funny that I'm watching this to string the video together, and people are gonna go, ah, and I wanna, ah, before you get to, ah. I get in the coolant jacket, it actually embosses the metal. Oh, pretty crazy. So I would love to pull the pistons out and check the bores and some other stuff in the spare time, of course. But for right now, we're yanking out the front accessories, the cam, and everything else, and then it's all gonna go in that bad boy. Okay, so we tore down the front of this guy, pulled the cam out, pulled the lifters out, and stuffed the cam in here, put the stock oil pump on. I got a 4X front cam gear that's flat, none of the VVT stuff, regular 3-bolt, the GM part number. I had this laying around, so what the hey, I'm struggling this year. Let's put this LS2 chain tensioner on. Is in my goodie bag from Summit, I believe. There's all sorts of from when I did the other engine. So yeah, there's my Gen 4 cover, all the cool stuff. So we're gonna put the cover on, flip the motor over, yank the pan off of this, make sure it's clean, and wash it. All the goodies. This is always exciting. Okay, we just blasted the bolt home, backed out the bolt, put on my crank pinning setup, and tried to line it up best with the holes that are already there. And we're gonna drill. Yeah. Here's my head gasket selection, and here are my head bolts. So I just prepped this guy and razored it and blew it out. So we're gonna prep a head gasket, get some dowels, stick it on, and go to town. $780 torque wrench, reused head bolts, copper sprayed gasket, got her, reused head bolts, got him, swapped the dirty oily ones with the clean ones, got him. 65 foot-pounds used. Tough to support. Now I'm going to do them, supporting. Torque spec for these guys. Torqued good. So we got the oil pan, heads on, I think I put this gasket on backwards. I'm pretty sure that tab's supposed to be forward, or they flipped on each side. I'm probably gonna have to pull that head back off. It's one thing I missed, but the rest of it is looking good. Yay.